I have two watches in my hands. On my right is the CASIO GA-2100, which costs $179, and on my left is the North Edge Mars 3, which was only $29. Today we are going to film a video on how to disassemble and reassemble digital watches. Despite the huge price difference, both have carbon fiber reinforced cases and come with wartime timers and other functions. So what's the difference in their internal structure? Let's take them apart and find out. If you own a CASIO or North Edge watch, make sure to keep watching. I will also show you how to replace the battery, which might be very useful for you. Let's start with the CASIO GA-2100. First, use a close screwdriver to remove the 4 screws on the back cover. Now the screws are removed, let's use tweezers and to carefully lift off the back cover. With the back cover removed, you can get a rough look at the movement. There is an insulating film on top. Once removed, you can clearly see the movement's protective cover and the 2 battery slots. Next, let's remove the rubber gasket. Take a closer look. These 4 spring metal tabs acts as button contacts and also help secure the movement. To remove the movement, you need to press down on these tabs one by one while gently lifting the movement. With the movement removed, let's examine the case structure. One interesting thing is that the button contact switches are built into this protective cover, which also serves as a positioning lock for the movement. All 4 buttons are mounted onto the case and have waterproof sealing. Next, let's remove the batteries, which are secured by 2 small clips. Simply use the tool to press the clips upward, and the batteries will come out easily. Before removing the batteries, take note of the polarity. Here you can take a photo and avoid a mistake during reinstallation. If you only want to replace the battery, you only need to do this step and then reinstall the new battery. But if you want to remove the chip cover, you need to open the 4 free clips to separate the cover and the chip. But you don't need to remove anything except the battery clips, except for repair work and demonstrations like me. Let's continue to separate the motherboard and the display. The entire motherboard is fixed by 3 very small slotted screws, so we have to use tweezers instead of manual extraction. The place I marked with a red circle. There are 4 very small conductive springs under it to power the display. Please be careful when removing it. After separating the screen and the motherboard, you can see that there are 2 gearboxes on the display side that relay on coil motors. The movement of the GA-2100 watch can be seen that it is very thin and light, and all the functions are integrated into this small motherboard. It's amazing. I don't know if all Casio watch chips are made with this process, but the chip I have now looks very delicate. Now let's remove onto disassembling to the motor and the gear system. You can see that the motor drives a small gear, which then moves to larger gears, controlling the hour axis, minute axis, and the week axis. Before disassembly, I had already removed the hands. Let's switch the camera angle, so you can get a clear look at the internal mechanism. Now the gear system has been fully reassembled. Next, we will reinstall the conductive springs on the display. Then secure in mainboard and processed with the final assembly steps. During reinstallation of the movement, I record the entire process, hoping to help Casio GA-2100 user follow my step to replace the battery. Before reassembling, keep these important points in mind. Check the movement's orientation. Even though they are alignment slots, always double check to avoid installing it upside down. When putting the movement back, press down each of the metal tabs one by one to ensure a secure fit. Make sure the gasket and the insulating films are placed before attaching the back cover and tightening the screws. So there will be a hole on the insulating rubber pad that needs to be aligned with it and pass it through it. Assemble it step by step like this. And remember to test whether the functions is intact after assembly. That's all for this issue. If you like my video, please subscribe to me or click like for me. In the next issue, we will release the disassembly video of North Edge Mars 3. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to the second episode of the watch disassembly video. In the previous video, we disassembled the CASIO GA-2100 watch, explored its internal structure, and showed you how to replace the battery. Today we'll be disassembling another watch made of the carbon fiber composite material, the North Edge Master 3, and I'll also show you how to replace its battery. This watch features watertime alarms, stopwatch, countdown timers, and luminous hands. Let's get started. After removing the 4 screws on the back cover, you can use tweezers or your fingers to lift off the cover. Be careful with the position of the waterproof ring. You will notice the chip has a rigid design and is secured to the case by 4 spring clips. Simply press and lift each clip to separate the movement from the case. Next, separate the protective cover from the chip. The protective cover is held by 4 long screws and 1 short screw that secures the battery. First, loosen all 5 screws one by one and then remove the battery. Since it's the first disassembly, the cover may be tightly attached to the chip. Use tweezers or a tool to pry it open. Then use tweezers to lift the chip off the positioning posts. Now the chip and the display screen are separated. Let's take a look at the display screen's structure. In the center are 2 motor gearboxes powered by conductive springs from the bottom right and top left corners. This controls the over-exercise, mini-exercise, and weak exercise. The gearboxes are covered with a PC plant for stability and dust protection. The 2 larger conductive springs on the left provide power to the display screen. The black rubber straps at the top and the bottom, known as the conductive rubber straps, ensure electrical connectivity and cushioning between the motherboard and the display. This is the overall structure after disassembly. The motherboard is quite thin and the size is newer model. its manufacturing process is more advanced than older versions. Now let's put everything back together. Important. The chip must align with the positioning posts before pressing it down, or it may get damaged. The same rule applies when installing the protective cover. Ensure it's pressed tightly before securing the screws. When reinstalling the screws, don't tightly them all the way at once. Leave some space to ensure the next screw can be installed smoothly. Only after the screws are in place should you tighten them completely. Next, take out the case. Make sure the movement and the case are aligned in the same direction. There is a groove will help you align them. Then press down the 4 spring clips one by one. Use a tool. If you are only replacing the battery, just remove the back cover. Unscrew the battery screw and swap in the new battery. It's simple, even first-time users can do it themselves. After installing the battery, check if the display turns on. If it doesn't, recheck the installation. And if you encounter any problems, feel free to ask me for help. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Thank you for your watch and see you next time.